All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming out here today. We are here to celebrate the progress that's being made in restoring and renovating Colonial Gardens. People have waited for that for so long, and we're being asked all the time, what's the latest? So you're going to get the latest here as we look forward to a great opening here in the not-too-distant future. For generations, the South End Landmark was a gathering place for family and friends. And if you know many Louisvillians at all, they'll tell you their stories of what happened at Colonial Gardens. It's always fun and lots of smiles. So soon it's going to be open again. The distinctive architecture it has is reminded by all. It's certainly iconic, and it's something that we were committed to preserving. Many people just said, knock it down. We were not going to do that. We wanted this to come back in its beautiful original example. It's also an example of what we're doing throughout the city of adaptive reuse, where we've got great, beautiful buildings that just need a little tender, loving care to get them back into their original shape so that they can shine once again. When you think about what we did on Whiskey Row or the Edison Center, those are other dramatic examples of adaptive reuse that we've seen around the city, along with dozens and dozens of others. There's a lot going on, obviously, in terms of capital investment like this in the city, $13 billion just in this last 4 years, and it's all throughout the city. Of course, we're in South Louisville here today, right across from Iroquois Park, so it's a great combination of things of what's going on here. We're getting also an unprecedented amount of tourists, not just throughout our entire city, but also here in South Louisville as well. So to have this facility across the street with multiple restaurants and a beer garden that we're going to hear more about in a second, it's going to be a great stop, not just for tourists, but also obviously for locals that have been waiting for this for quite some time. When you think about other activity in this part of town, the new South Central Library just really is shining, and was also receiving architectural awards like the Southwest Library did. Sisters Beans Coffee Shop is investing. The development along New Cut Road corridor, small businesses in Beachmont are coming back as this neighborhood continues to flourish. And then, of course, the beautiful Iroquois Overlook was completed last year. I want to congratulate the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular. Last night was the last night. We had a record attendance this year, and it's amazing how they've just keep making it bigger and better each year, and it's just the perfect venue for it here at Iroquois Park. So I want to thank everybody that's been involved with the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular, and I really appreciate how it benefits the Metro Parks Foundation as well. So next year when they're coming back, obviously Colonial Gardens is going to be complete, so that's going to help the activity in this area even more. This is a partnership project we have here between the citizens of Louisville and their metro government, and then private developers as well, similar to programs we put together like the work going on at 18th and Broadway now, the new soccer stadium district. Oftentimes it takes all of us working together to make these projects a reality. Also, I wanted to comment that it's important to make all of our projects, and Colonial Gardens here is a great example of it, to make it accessible to all of our citizens. So we're just completing work on creating a safer pedestrian crossing. We've expanded parking and a new TARC bus stop. We've made street improvements along West Kenwood Drive and at the intersection of New Cut Road. And we've added a left turn from New Cut into the Colonial Gardens property. So a lot of things coming together to make Colonial Gardens more accessible. I want to thank Metro engineer Steve Karowski. Steve was here earlier. He's over here keeping a very low profile. But Steve and the entire Public Works team are managing this effort, so I want to thank you to the entire team. It's going to benefit not just Colonial Gardens, but all the businesses around here, as well as in addition to visitors at the beautiful park. So good job, man. I also want to thank our Metro Council members. Projects like this come together because we all work together. You'll be hearing from our council members in a moment, but we've all been working together with great determination over the last several years to make sure this project is happening. So it's a good team effort for that. Vince JARBOE, leader of our Southwest Dream Team for almost a decade now, has been incredible in terms of his focus on bringing back the rejuvenation of the South. And Vince will speak in a moment. But next we're going to hear from TODD Underhill. We needed a special developer that has expertise in taking projects like this and bringing them back to life, and then finding the right mix of tenants to make sure that they're successful once they start going. And the Underhills certainly have a proven track record of doing that. So please welcome TODD Underhill.
Hello. First of all, I want to, there's so many thank yous that we can give out, but I want to start with the mayor and his staff headed by Jeff Mosley. Without this, this could have never happened. I know you're going to hear from Vince JARBOE, but it was Vince JARBOE about 6 years ago that was the key to getting us involved in this property. That's how long it's taken, and we can't say enough. Thanks to Public Works, the road patterns are going to be phenomenal. I got to thank Republic Bank. They've come up. We're going to have a parking. We're dealing with parking in every major way we can. We know the events are going to be very well attended. We're going to have a phenomenal facility, and it's a good thing to have a parking issue. I want to thank each one of our Metro Council people you're going to hear from. They've all been the most supportive group you could have ever seen as a developer to see this. I'm very, very pleased from a development standpoint how progressive our city government has been and our Metro Council people have been. Okay, so let me say that we have discovered, and I learned through some other earlier years, but now I know why this is such a popular part of town and why people that grow up in this part of town want to stay in this part of town. This is a phenomenal spot. We're really looking forward to it. And we think our lineup of food and beverage spots are going to be so impressive that it's actually going to be probably the first time I can remember that you're going to see a migration from the east end to the south end to come and enjoy yourself. And I really do believe that. I think this place is going to be extremely popular. I'll give you the good news first. The good news is we're on schedule. We'll have a spring opening. The restaurants plus the beer garden, and it's going to be a really, really popular spot. I am not allowed under confidentiality agreement. I can tell you we're 75% leased. We're intentionally holding off the fourth spot. If anybody has good thoughts on that, we're entertaining a lot of spots right now. We're going to make an announcement in early January, exactly the names. The confidentiality agreement has to be, you're going to know all the names we've leased to. They're very popular spots. You're going to know every one of them. They've been asked because they do other locations that to protect their, financial and their et cetera, they've asked to make the announcement in early January, which we will do and we will plan to do. And we'll have our re-elected mayor here to help with that announcement at that particular point in time. But that being said, we want to thank everybody here again, and we look forward to the spring opening where everybody will have a great time. Thank you.
Thanks again, Todd. Appreciate your all's good work and look forward to January. Thank you. Vince JARBOE, as I mentioned, has been leading the Southwest Dream Team along with a host of other great citizens here in the South and Southwest for the last decade or so, and have just really been methodical and tenacious and consistent. And we've seen the kind of the rebranding of the South and Southwest and rejuvenation as well. And so much of that could not have been done without the great citizen that Vince JARBOE is. So please welcome Vince JARBOE.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words, Mayor Fisher. Standing in the very, very long line of Jack-o'-lantern spectacular last week, I kept overhearing conversations, and almost everybody was pointing over here wanting to know either what it is or when's it going to be ready. So, it was just so many people excited about this. The momentum that this development is going to do for the South End, for Southwest Louisville, is just great. I really want to thank Public Works. I think they did such a great job getting this done quickly and efficiently, and it sounded like pretty inexpensively from talking. So I think that's a great thing, too. Colonial Gardens, hopefully this development is going to have a snowball effect. We would like to see more independent restaurants come out to the South End, especially the Dixie Corridor. We're hoping that that's what this ends up doing. We already have some great restaurants here. Tuscany, Rubby's, Hoops, Vietnam Kitchen, Jimbo's Barbecue. We already have some really nice restaurants here, but the four additions in here are going to really, really add to that. And hopefully that it's a snowball effect that moves all the way through the Southwest Louisville. Southwest Dream Team's job is to raise the profile of the South End and Southwest Louisville, and we stand ready to work with the FISCHER administration, with the wonderful Metro Council members that we have, the Underhills, and everyone else who wants to get involved, the business associations, the neighborhood associations. We want to continue to raise the profile of this area and continue to attract. Louisville Independent Business Alliance helps us a lot. We want to continue to attract entrepreneurs to come out here and open a business out here. Lastly, we need people to come out. When this opens up, we just need to swamp this place. South Enders, Southwest Louisville people, you have to come out and really, really support this so that we can continue on with this momentum. And lastly, I would say grab somebody tomorrow and go out and vote. Please. Thank you.
as I mentioned, we've had a lot of council support behind this, and projects like this don't happen without a partnership between my office, the council, and good developers as well. So we're joined here today by David Yates, Rick Blackwell, VITALIS LANSHIMA, CINDI FOWLER, and VICKI Welch, and they, some of them may have a few words to say. So let's start with David Yates. David, and you guys just want to introduce yourself after that.
Well, first of all, thank you all for being here. I sit here at Iroquois Park, a place I grew up. I've ran that park more times than I can ever remember. But doing that, I'd always look across the street and I would see Colonial Gardens. I'm not old enough to remember some of the memories that some people talked about. I saw a dilapidated structure that hurt my area. And so, way before I ever got elected to Metro Council, I thought there's got to be a way that we can improve that we can make sure we protect the integrity of the neighborhoods. That when you come in to our backyard, you can say, we've arrived, instead of saying, what is that? And I can tell you this is a great example of good government working with the private sector and making things happen. The administration has been excellent in this. The Underhills have been excellent. And then my Metro Council, unselfish, working together for the good of the overall community. When this is done, you're going to say we've arrived. You're going to look around and you're going to say, wow. When government's reinvested in infrastructure, you make things happen. You make sure the developers can develop. We can have the restaurants and the retail we need. So like this, I'm hoping that we'll continue to emulate this good government. We'll continue to work together with these great partners. And here comes the springtime. We're going to have a great place to have a good time, to party, and hopefully anybody who has not seen this gym in Louisville will come out and enjoy Southwest Louisville. Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. I'm one of those who did experience Colonial Gardens, dancing there with my husband. My parents experienced it, and my grandparents experienced it. So 3 generations of us used this corner and really enjoyed it back in the day. So it was a really depressing time when it went dark. And for me, as being on the council for 12 years and 10 months now, I've got 2 months to go, it's so exciting for me to see this finally flourishing and that I've been some part of it. And I want to thank Mayor Fischer for his vision, for spending his time and efforts in South Louisville on so many things, not just this, but this is, for me, is the cherry on top. And as I depart the council, of course I'll be back for the opening, and it just gives me such pride that our council members, Rick and I, were part of the inception of the Southwest Dream Team with Vince. And then, of course, when David and Cindy came along, they jumped right in. And we've had a strong 4-member Southwest council team that has just done so many great things out here. Hopefully, and I know that people will come and enjoy this, but my hope is that this Colonial Gardens is going to spur the New Cut Corridor, which is my district, along with the National Turnpike Corridor, to get more great development of retail and restaurants out here for our people to utilize. Thank you all.
So I want to thank everyone as well for their hard work on this, and just say a couple of things. One is, while it's very, very exciting right now and everybody's excited about the partnership, it didn't begin that way. So when you first step out and say government's going to be involved in this and we're going to put taxpayer dollars in this project, you get some pushback on that. So I want to thank the mayor and thank my council members who had the courage to have a vision and to be able to put the resources behind it, because it takes that at the beginning. Later, when everybody gets on board and sees how wonderful it is, everybody's on board, but it didn't start there. So thank you all for that. And then second, I want to say how excited I am as someone who works in the area just down the street. This is going to be amazing for our area. Instead of telling people turn right at, they don't even, unless they don't even know it's Colonial Gardens, turn right at the mess there. People will know from all over the city will know what you're talking about across from Iroquois Park. It's a huge development. The sales down the street where I work, and we've put millions of dollars into the development there as well. The neighborhood is an extremely strong neighborhood. Neighborhood association's extremely strong. So this is a great addition to what already is going well in this end of town. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming out, and a lot of thank yous have gone around. And I would like to echo those same thank yous, council members for all the work they've done, the mayor and the mayor's office for their tremendous partnership with the Metro Council office, and a lot of projects get done, and sometimes they go over budget. And I know that the investment the Metro Council Louisville did in Colonial Gardens was under budget. As far as I understand it, I know that we've received some reimbursement back into the office. So I just want to say thank you very much, and I hope that the Underhills are not spending way too much than they expect to spend. I just hope that everyone will come out and enjoy the gem that Colonial Gardens is going to be. So thank you all.
I just want to thank everybody for all the hard work that you've put into this and to make our end of town shine. Dixie Highway, New Cut Road, you know, it's all going to benefit from this project. So just thank you to everyone who was a part, and, you know, especially the mayor and the council members, Vince JARBOE, the Dream Team, everybody that came together to make this happen. You know, this is how it works. So I'm glad to see it. Thank you.
That's right. Yep, this is how it works well. So thanks, everybody, for coming out. The entire city's proud of Colonial Gardens, and it's a great investment, not just for South Louisville, but for our entire city. It's a big part of our city's legacy, so it's just wonderful when you see things like this come back and people being able to see how our city was when Iroquois Park was here, Colonial Gardens was rocking, so more good times will be coming ahead. So thanks, everybody, for coming out.